Thank you for clicking through. This is my talk from SourceCon in Budapest in June this year about using videos in email outreach to candidates. I hope you enjoy, and let me know if you have any questions about it.
So for those of you who've yet to get to know me or to see me on the presentations talking about this talk, my name is Mark Lundgren. Originally I'm Danish, so the accent is a mixture of pretty much everything. I do live in the UK. I work for ThoughtWorks as a sourcer in a brilliant team of global sourcers, where I get to work every day with people I actually enjoy working with, because they're my friends. My presentation, I've talked about similar things before. The people who were in Amsterdam last year have seen pieces of this, and I had somebody ask me today, is going to be the same presentation? No, because it's been a year, and I've actually got more examples for how that works. So yeah, a bit about me. I've done this for way too long. I've done recruitment for the better part of 17 years in 7 different European countries. Other people change jobs. My wife and I have a habit of changing countries while changing jobs. So that's where my kind of interesting accent comes from. But I live in the UK now, and have the pleasure of working for ThoughtWorks in a global role where I get to work from home, which means I have a lot of time to listen to a lot of podcasts and watch a lot of videos, which is partly also where my inspiration for my talk came from. I like starting with a question, and I think this has been one of the themes going around the whole conference as well. How it's about creative outreach, it's about how do you actually, it's more and more not about how do we find people, but how do we actually get them to want to talk to us. As Shane was just saying as well, LinkedIn is maybe a tool for a lot of us to find out who we don't want to hire. But a lot of it is around like we make these lists, and that's what we're good at. We identify people, but then when we actually try to contact them, how many of us just send an email or an email and then hope for a response? And you can do it as creative as you want, but at the end of the day, not everybody is necessarily going to read that. And that's been a big problem for me as well in most of my career. So I thought, is there tools out there that we can help with that? What our industry is not so good at, we're good at sharing, as Jan was saying, more should do it. What we're not good at is doing a lot of research about new things. There's a lot of good vendors here, there's a lot of good vendors, new tools coming every year, but I've seen not a lot of people looking at that. It's like, how would that work in different jobs, in recruitment, can we do that? So I do a lot of podcasts from other industries, sales, marketing automation. And one of the things that I picked up on a podcast about 2 years ago was around video emails. So instead of just sending an email, what if we start embedding videos in that? We are talking about personalization and hyper-personalization, but nothing is more personal than you talking to the person you want to get to talk to. They see who you are. You're not a faceless email with some kind of signature and follow my link to see the company job description. It's you. So I like that, sounds interesting. I want to play around with that. The company that was presenting in that podcast was about inside sales. And the company, their solution is about video marketing. So their day-to-day is about video marketing solutions for big companies. But they had a free tool that they used themselves in their sales process. And the free tool at that point was called Vidit, Video Edit. They changed it, now it's Vidyard Go Video. And they used that as part of their sales process. And they went through like how they used it and how they trained their own people to use it and how they reached out to their potential clients. And I thought that was interesting. So the first thing they do is send a video email, and I'll go a bit more about what that actually looks like. And their follow-up would be a follow-up email, but only text. So no fancy graphic, no video. Because what they were saying is like, one, not all email systems are going to take the video. You might get blocked from that. Two, not everybody likes the video piece of it. So they just, to make sure they hit the whole audience, they do a follow-up, which is just pure text. And number three, which really resonated with me, is a profile review video. Now I'll go through a bit what that means. So the video email, Katrina had part of that because when I started really playing around with it. I started sending it to people that I knew would not laugh at me too much. One of them was Katrina, still gonna laugh. So the way my video is, where my camera is. And Katrina can give a whole talk on that. Preferably over here. So yeah, this is what they look like. This is Go Video. So from Vidyard, you send an email. This works with Gmail, and that's what my company uses, thankfully. You go in there, you click a button, and you either record it right there and re-record it. You can do a little bit of editing, or you recorded it before and you just pop it into your email. But what it does from you standing out from everybody else, like there's 100 recruiters that emails that same person every week. I would rather see this. One, actually putting in the subject that there's a video here. Two, you don't have a long list of like, I'm sorry to be an inconvenience or whatever it is LinkedIn tells us to actually write. That's the first lines. Like all those floskels that we've all kind of been through and hate ourselves for doing it. It's a video. We like clicking on play buttons. That's why YouTube is the second biggest search engine in this world, because people like watching things. What it says from some of the tools, it's going to say exactly how long it is. It's like, do I want to spend 5 minutes reading an email, or do I want to spend 30 seconds to seeing what they actually want of me? And your call to action can be your call to action. So that's the first thing they do. And they do this for everything in sales. I do this for candidates, and it works with some better than others. The good thing about having the video in it, we all hopefully track our emails and see if people open it. This is different technologies to block that. This video isn't the actual video. For this tool, it's just a screenshot where when you click on that play button, it goes to a landing page, which means you track who actually opens it. And because you send it just to one person, you know that that person opened it. But you can also start seeing, like some people really like this, and they send it out to all their friends and colleagues. So all of a sudden, your video for one person gets opened 100 times, and you know that somebody liked it or thought it was funny. So there's a lot of tracking in that, which is beneficial for me because I know when people watched it and how much of it they watched. The follow-up email, as I said, text. Not everybody's gonna, their filter in their email might catch it as because there's something embedded. Not every email system likes that, Google especially, depending on what your domain is from. So following up with just having your plain text and giving your call to action as what you have. Give them something, what's the next step, not just wanted to catch up. And the third one is the one that I really liked, because I think we've all kind of heard, and you go on any kind of review site, of especially developers or Twitter, go after the hashtag recruiter fails. Most of what they say is that they get approached by recruiters who've never read their profile. And we've probably all done that. We hit the right keywords, but we didn't really read to the bottom of what they actually do. This is a video, and I'll show the tools thing. So instead of showing them or telling them, I looked at your profile, I looked at your GitHub, I looked at your other social media, show them. So Vidyard does this for their potential clients and said, I'm reaching out to you. We want to set up a meeting. This is what in your profile I connected with and why I think that our software is a good solution for you. For us as a recruiter, imagine you doing this to the candidate. This is what they see in their email. They see a video, their profile. They know that's personalized because it's their profile. And you go through, it's like the reason that we're reaching out to you, this, and this is what I think you could do in our company better, or that's why I thought they were interesting to have a talk. And that could be their LinkedIn profile, that could be their GitHub repository, that could be their blog. Like all of the things that you research anyway to kind of try to personalize your approach. But show them, don't just tell them and write a long email about it, actually show them this is the things that I have. Like I always have 200 tabs open, like I have 5 tabs open for what I find on the candidate. So I will show them. I found you here, then I looked here, I love this, we went through this project in your GitHub with my developer. This, and this is what resonated. Could we have a talk about that? I spoke about part of this in a talk I did in Amsterdam last year. The Natalie, who I work for now, was at that talk, took it back to her company. Natalie's boss at that time was Cindy. Cindy is our global head of recruitment, or was, but on a part-time basis. She also had a startup on the side. And she does something really interesting. It's a startup that is doing a mobile app to help people suffering from diabetes to manage their life and their diet and just getting help and having other people in their network exchanging information about how do you live with it, what's the good things. So she needs a lot of mobile developers. But it's a small company and it's in London, and you can imagine London, a lot of other companies would like mobile developers as well. And when you're a very new startup, you're not necessarily the one that people choose. So Natalie came back, presented what I talked about, and Cindy was like, that is interesting, I want to try that. So Cindy had a list of 20 mobile developers in London that she thought was interesting and she wanted to talk to. And she'd done that a couple of times. Whenever they kind of have a new role, they've grown to a point where they need more people. And she would normally have a 30% response rate, which for developers in London is relatively good. But she tried with the video, and I have the example up. She sent that out, she sent it to 20 people at a 70% response rate. Because people resonated with, it wasn't just like, it wasn't that normal story. It's like, we're a startup and we're growing and we have this and that. She showed it. And got 30% response rate and hired somebody based on that. Plus she has somebody that she wants to hire when the next role comes up. So I want to show you Cindy's video and what she actually does, just to kind of show.
Hi, Juliana. I'm Cindy, one of the founders of IUDA Heuristics, and I'm here with my team in Finsbury Park. Everybody say hi, Juliana.
Hi, Juliana.
Cool, good. Hey, Juliana, we're making a mobile app to take away the burden of living with diabetes and hopefully one day eradicate it. And we're looking for an exceptional lead iOS engineer to join our team. And I came across your profile and wondered if that person might be you. I saw that you have, of course, a lot of iOS experience, and also in your recommendations, what a great teammate you are, how focused you are in delivery, and how passionate you are about creating a great end user experience. And those are all things that are really near and dear to our hearts. So we thought it was worth at least reaching out to you and see if this is something that you might be interested in. We'd love to learn more about you. We'd love to share more about what we're doing. So can you just let me know whether or not you'd be up for a conversation? Thanks, Juliana, and take care and have a lovely weekend.
This is a minute and a half. I think it's a minute and 36 seconds. And she did 20 of these. Anybody getting this email, one, the name of whoever she was reaching out to is on a sticky note. The story is the same thing, like the story of the company is the same thing she tells for all 20. But why they're interested in talking to that person is new for everyone. It doesn't take her more than a minute and a half to shoot this video. If she had to write a hyper-personalized email or just even personalizing a template with the story and this is why we're interested in you and can you just, it would have taken the same time. But the response rate that she got from in a market where people get a lot of recruiter emails and a lot of companies want to come and work for them, it stood out, and she got replies for 70%. And a lot of the replies was like, not interested, but I love what your company does and I love your approach. They're just thinking differently and getting the story out. Like we've been talking a lot about here, whether it's social media or job descriptions or your outreach. The thing that sells is not the name of your company necessarily, it's what's the story you're telling the people that we want to get in contact with. And this is a way to tell that story, very briefly, but personally. So, for the ones of you who have been around the kind of SourceCon community for a while, like you've heard of the hyper-personalized email. If you haven't, you can talk to me later. I can share some resources. Something that came up, Carrie, who is one of the SourceCon Grandmasters, did a big presentation of that a couple of years ago. So Carrie is similar to Shamila, will have very few people that she's reaching out to and will spend a long time on really personalizing those emails. And that works for some people. It doesn't work for me because the number of people that I need to contact is higher, and I don't have the time to really go down to that much detail and write it out and write a new email every time. So what I do is the personalized one. So go in, it's like, yes, I have the story and my call to action is a template, because that doesn't change no matter who I'm talking to. But what does change is that why would you want to come in contact with you? What was it that resonated with us that we think could be interesting for you to come and talk to us? And that still takes me time. I know Ika, we talk about that every week as well, and Ika will spend the most of the day just writing those emails to people, because some of the people that Ika is looking for in the UK, there's not a lot of them in the UK. So if you burn a lead, you're never going to be able to talk to them again. But with video, where that makes it easier is that a 1.5 minute video takes you 1.5 minutes. It takes you a bit longer to kind of get in the mindset, and you will screw up a couple of times or a lot. And sometimes that doesn't matter, because like as Katrina's saying, we're all human. And those mistakes, rather than trying to edit it out or redoing it or trying to look perfect, it doesn't matter, because nobody expects you to. But you still look better than some faceless email with a signature from whatever company. So what Cindy did for me was to kind of hyper-personalize. It's like, this is what we do, this is you. This is a tool we started using a couple of months ago called Lemlist, and you've heard a couple of people talk about it as well. They're a Paris-based startup, and we talked to them very early, and the founder Guillaume and his developer VNA, and I said, I love your tool. This is email automation follow-up, so we have the people, we follow up, we don't have to remember, and if they reply to us, they don't get a follow-up, but then we just know that that's all set. And I said, what I would love is to have something in your system, but with video. Can you do that? And they came back a couple of weeks later, and they said that DNA went away for a week. We think we have a solution. We want to present that to you. So they sent me this email. As you can see, it's for me. It's got my picture on it. It's for you, Mark. It's got the play button. You click on that, you get to a landing page. It looks a bit like a YouTube video, which people are used to. So they like clicking on play buttons. And it takes me to this. The following video has been made for Mark. And I have that example as well, because I quite like what they did, but I'll tell you why that is different from the hyper-personalized ones.
Guillaume here, co-founder of Lemlist. So as you know, we've been working with Vianney and Francois on an email automation tool, focusing on personalized images. And today we're going to be releasing our new feature, which is personalized video. So we're super excited about it. So what are personalized video? It's videos that you'll be able to put directly in your email, and you'll be able to add personalized website screenshots, such as this one. Oh, what a nice website. And social profile as well, such as Twitter account, for example, and company logo, and also like as many text as you want, as you can see here. And yeah, so if you want to be really like the next rock stars of cold emailing, you should definitely reach out to me. Just send me an email, and so we can have a chat. Have a great day. Bye.
The difference from what Lemlist and Guillaume is doing and what Cindy was doing is that this is a video that Guillaume shot once and sent to all of their 2,500 customers. Because what they've done, and which is why it takes them a lot of compute power, is that this is 24 frames a second. What they do is they ask you to say, what's the list of people you want to have, and what's the images, what's their social links, what's the text you want, and when. And then they go in and they take each frame for those, every second, for all of those 24 frames. And when you want that image, they will put that in and have that follow for. So what Guillaume was saying as well is like, one, because the tool is built mainly for images, and this is 24 of them every second, it's heavy on their storage and compute load. So they're like, we're doing as a beta now, but we will charge for it. And they're not cheap, but it is scalable. You can do one video and send it to 2,000 people, which is the personalized piece. You still have, I saw you on LinkedIn, and it's their LinkedIn profile. People don't think about that. You send the same email to 2,000 people, but you still have to do that research. It's like I saw you on LinkedIn, and then you have a LinkedIn, like empty LinkedIn profile. That's still going to stand out no matter how many people you get to. So it still takes that research that you do anyway when you do the outreach. But this is the kind of way, especially for people who work with high volumes. where it's like, we do that research, but we don't have the time to personalize it. But imagine sending this to, you know, your list of 200 candidates. Your response is going to be a lot better. But yes, there's a cost to that because of this is a French startup and they don't like doing things for free. Plus, they need to make money. No, and it's a good tool and it's a good implementation. And I was happy because we talked to them like 2 weeks into that after we bought the tool. I was like, can you do this? And they're like, this is our solution. I liked it because it's something that can be used in certain aspects. So tools. There is a lot of tools for everything and for GDPR and for general terms of business on various websites. I have my disclaimer. And in general, like GDPR just put it into perspective for most people. But I think if you start reading through the terms of business, through terms of service on most of the sites that you would use every day, most of what we do at some point is breaking law. So use it with care, and some of the tools might be more or less compliant to those terms of service. I talked about Vidyard, and this is one of the tools that I use a lot. One, because it's free, and we like free. Two, because I can do a lot of the aspects of actually doing it. So it works in my Gmail, which is what I like, and I'm lucky enough to be in a company that uses the Gmail platform. But it's not, you would write an email like normal, and you click on the Vidyard logo, and you tell that whether you want to shoot just your camera, your webcam, you want to shoot just what you're seeing on the screen, or you want to shoot your screen and you at the bottom, similar to what Maisha was doing with Loom. And it's going to generate a landing page for each video you do. So you shoot the video, it embeds it in the email, and you send it off. And you don't have to think about it. You will get a notification when they open that email. And they're working on more and more statistics around that, how much they viewed and things like that. But obviously, because it's free, you don't get a lot of that. But I use it a lot, and I like using it because it's easy and it's connected to what I use daily anyway. The other one, similar to what Maisha is doing, but sending to her manager and doing screen flows, has the same thing. It works well with Chrome and Gmail, but it also works in Outlook, which, as Maisha said, ones of us that sometimes are technically challenged with companies that are on exchange platforms. That's when I started using it as well. But similar thing, shoot the video in there, you put it in, they generate a landing page just for that video. What Loom allows you to do as well, which I quite like because I do a lot of video editing, is that it allows you to download that video as well. So I use it a lot for just having to shoot something quickly, or I want to show something in my video, what I do, shoot it quickly on Loom, download it, and embed it in another video. And again, that's free for whatever reason. It's one of those companies that they come up with an idea, but it's not really what their main business is, but they released it. And yeah, they're kind of like, this might be around forever, maybe not. But yeah. A tool that I've used a lot as well, a similar thing to the Vidyard original one. This is a company that is used in sales, and a specific market is in real estate. So a lot of American real estate agents has that problem of people come to them and say, I want to buy a house, but they say the same to 10 other real estate agents. So they are, people who have the money and want to buy a house have the same thing as most of our candidates, and they get way too many kind of responses. So they really got a niche with real estate agents. It's like, okay, for all those responses, or just you want to tell your client something, send a quick video to them. What I like about BombBomb is that it works on Office 365, so Outlook, it works on Gmail, but it also has a mobile app. You can build out with templates and everything like that, so that you shoot the video on your phone and you send the email straight from there. Plus it has a pause button, so you can start your video, you can pause it, you can go somewhere else, you can continue the same video, and then you can send that out to either one person, or if you do it more general, to everybody on your list. And it has a lot more statistics. They have a free version which has a lot of the functions, but I've been paying for it for the last couple of years because it has a lot of extra functionality. Email tracking, if they open it, if they send it on, plus that I can use my phone, which is just, it makes it convenient sometimes that I don't have to sit at my computer. I can shoot it on my phone, but still send it from my Gmail. So that's BombBomb. again, Lemlist, the main reason we started using Lemlist is for follow-ups. So as I said in the beginning, how many of us send one email or one email and expect an answer? I don't answer the first email ever for one reason. I'm a sourcer, and I know that I'm most likely on a list of 200 people. And even if you tried a bit to personalize it, I don't want to just be a number on one of the 200. However, if you send me a second email, I know that you want to talk to me, because that means I'm on a shorter list, most likely. So one of my pet peeves have been following up, and you have that in sales. Like, there's a lot of research done within inside sales and things like that about following up, and as Katrina was saying, doing different channels. Don't keep emailing, but try something else as well. But even with something as simple as like, at least follow up on email. And I don't mean, did you see my email last week? Or just following up again. I assume they haven't read the first one, because likelihood is if they have a Gmail, it might have been caught in their spam folder or their promotions folder or whatever other folder and tags that Gmail has. What follow-ups does, like Gmail has a thing when you follow up on something, they still, okay, this isn't just because I can, so you have a higher chance. And some people are just too busy. I mean, you have people coming back to us 3 weeks later, it's like, did see your emails, and I like that you follow up, but didn't have time. I did this for SourceCon London. So we did SourceCon London local chapter, and I was talking to a lot of Americans who want to do local chapters, and nobody knows SourceCon where they're from. Like, I'm in London. This is the first European event of SourceCon. There's very few people who know SourceCon. But I emailed 1,000 people who have something to do with sourcing in London, because that is relatively easy to find. And I emailed half of them to really follow up, including my old boss at Microsoft. After the third email, he writes me back. He said, I think I owe you an answer now since you emailed me 2 times. And he knows me well enough, but he did answer. And also, he's the manager of 20 sources. I really wanted him to get that email. But that showed me as well, he knows what I'm doing, he knows why I'm doing it, but he still didn't answer the first 2 emails. But he did give me an answer. So what we do, and Iker knows this very well as well, is we put the list of people we want to stay in contact with. And we do this either from, we send it an email first and we didn't get a response, so we'll go back, find that list and put them in here to do the follow-ups. Or we start straight from scratch and do the whole outreach from here, where we send an email and we choose how many days to wait until the next email and the next one and what the text is, and we can A/B test. So it's like, okay, the second message, we want to try the short one and the long one, the one with lots of links, the ones with just one. And we test things, and how does that work in China or Spain or North America for developers or for, so that, we spend a lot of time as a team kind of tracking those things. But this gives us the stats to be able to. And there were a company as well that we started working with, that the original ideas was, and why I like the tool to begin with, is that they have, which is part of their normal version, they have photos that you can customize the text over it. So I like that, because that's something visual, and I know some recruiters love sending developers cat pictures, and some developers resonate with it. So I'm actually doing that, but putting their name on it, so that they know that that's different, and that's kind of built in as a part of it. And now the videos is built in, but it's a kind of added benefit. So yeah, that's what we got them to add, and we're kind of trialing and getting, and where can we use it, and what's the best use case for it, and do we have to scale in any kind of specific reason. Finding the emails, you'll have a lot of different things for that as well, and depending on whether GDPR is relevant for whatever market you're in, some of these tools can be more or less compliant. But I try to do the ones that are more compliant than less. This is what I use, so my kind of email lookup text ad. I always have Amazing Hiring in the left side of my screen for 2 reasons. 1, they actually have a lot of emails. 2, I do a lot of text sourcing. That makes sense for why to use them. Plus what Amazing Hiring combines that I like is that I don't need 2 tools to look at their contact information and what other social networks they're on, because it's all there. And they will rank people as well. If they're top Java developer on GitHub, they will tell me right there. So that's my kind of main go-to. This one is probably one of the only tools that I can know for certain does not violate the LinkedIn terms of service. It is owned by LinkedIn. However, it just gives you a lot of information. So Connectifier, the company, was bought by LinkedIn, and for everybody who's an American who has LinkedIn recruiter license will have the Connectifier product, which gives you less emails than any other tool, but gives you emails. This is the Connectifier social links, which is open globally and does not depend on whether you have a LinkedIn recruiter license. But what it does give you is it gives you what LinkedIn knows which are the social networks you're on. Which is why when you're on LinkedIn and sees this pop up, you know that you can do with this because this is sanctioned by LinkedIn. So I always have that running because you can say all you want about LinkedIn, but this will pick up social networks from people that some of the other tools won't because they might have posted it on LinkedIn or something. Email lookup. This is one of the ones that I've had running for the last couple of years as well. If you're one of the ones that's been using this for a while, but you're in a company that has a bit of money, you probably won't be able to use it anymore. Contact Atlas Australia, and they had a thing with a free trial. We got 50 credits a day. I luckily enough registered with my 2-people company and still had it for free. Everybody at ThoughtWorks did not, and miraculously their free trial was up. But this is the price, by the way. It is a good tool, and it's one of the main ones because they do provide private email addresses for 80 to 90% of the people I look at in most of the countries. Lucia, they're here. I'm a customer, and I love being so. As they will tell you as well, where they're good. That doesn't always work for me in everything that we do. Again, they have private emails, but they have phone numbers, which I know Eker is using as well sometimes, because send people a text message, they will see it, and for the most part, they will respond to you. And not a lot of them will ask you how you found it, because it's out there somewhere. People don't change. They might change their email, but they don't change their phone numbers. And this is for some reason my Belgium phone number, which I've had for 9 months back in 2010. So I don't know where you have it from because it was it was a SIM card only. But it's interesting that they have it. Numera is a good tool, and then it disappeared, and then it came back. Again, I'm a customer of them, mainly because they have a very good price, and I can share my credits with 5 other people in my team every month. They find a lot of email addresses, and because I don't rely on one of them is going to find what I'm looking for. And it's very few people, like it's only like 5-10% people of all the people I'm looking at who will not have something kind of contact information on one of the tools. That's what I have. Any questions?
You ever use a tool called Hunter.io?
No, mainly because they were only corporate emails, or what I found.
Okay.
And I don't like people in their work email. And that's just the thing I have. I wouldn't like it, so I don't want to do it to anybody else.
Okay.
You're out of time, sorry.
Okay. For anybody who doesn't know, my side gig every week is talking to people like you and getting the stories. So some of these are speakers, because I made an effort of doing a lot of speakers. You want the story behind some of the speakers who've been speaking here, or you just want the stories about other sourcers from around the world of how they got started, how they work, what tools they use, and how to follow them. I do this every week. It comes out Sunday night, which is why it's my side gig. So follow that and let me know if you like it, or if you're interested in talking to me for a couple of hours and me heavily editing it so I can cut myself out, let me know.